Joining me now to talk about this live from Westminster is Michael Gove, former government minister and the man in charge of masterminding the Conservatives campaign. Michael Gove, lots of ideas, whether they're new or rehashed. How are you going to pay for them?
Well, we're going to pay, for example, for extending the right to buy by making sure that we sell off the most expensive council properties, the third most expensive council properties. That'll raise £4.5 billion. And with that money, we can invest in new affordable homes, and we can also pay to allow people who are currently in housing association homes to buy those properties as well. And we can also spend money converting brownfield sites, which at the moment need a little bit of extra cash in them in order to be capable of being built on, into new sites for housing.
So that's how you'll pay for one idea. You have said you will make £12 billion of welfare cuts, but only told us where £2 billion will come from. What about the rest?
Well, we've been more specific than any other party about how we'll actually reduce public spending overall. And we've said that we'll reduce it by £30 billion, £12 billion of which will come from welfare, £2 billion of that will come from freezing working age benefits. The other changes will come from making sure that we get more people off welfare and into work by implementing the universal credit scheme that Ian Duncan Smith has so brilliantly designed.
Let's just come back to those cuts on welfare, though. I mean, you said today you are the party of working people. What about people who aren't working or can't work? Are you going to cut job seekers allowance? Are you going to cut disability living allowance to pay for all these promises?
We made it perfectly clear that when it comes to reducing welfare, we're going to make sure that anyone who's disabled and also those who've paid in throughout their lives, pensioners, are protected. But there is room to cut the welfare budget. We've cut it by £21 billion already in this Parliament.
Where is that room specifically? Where are you going to cut it?
I think anyone who looks at the newspapers in the course of the last couple of weeks will have seen stories of individuals, for example, who've fathered any number of children by any number of partners. And looking at that, no one can tell me that there isn't an opportunity now to make savings in the welfare budget. But we'll be guided, as we have been throughout this Parliament, by making sure that we protect those who are disabled, we protect those who are vulnerable. And above all, we get more people into work, because the best form of welfare is a job that pays. And we've created 1,000 jobs for every day that we've been in power over the course of the last 5 years. And we have a commitment to carry on doing that and to create 2 million more new jobs.
Let's just come back to the right to buy scheme. I mean, this is something Margaret Thatcher tried in the 80s. An awful lot of people bought their own homes. She didn't build nearly enough to replace them. You haven't built enough homes over the past 5 years either. So why should people believe that you will now?
Well, we built many, many more homes than the previous Labour government did.
But not enough. Not enough.
Well, one of the things that this policy will allow us to do is to build even more homes. It's not just the case that it will pay for the replacement of council houses that we sell. It's also the case that this policy will pay for the conversion of brownfield land that is currently very difficult to build on. It may be contaminated for whatever reason. It will pay to ensure that that land can be brought back into use and that we can have many, many more new homes. It's also the case that our Help to Buy scheme and our Starter Home scheme makes it easier for people to get on the housing ladder and encourages house builders to build the new homes that people deserve to be able to call their own.
It's one thing you say is clearly costed. Labour say they've been careful to cost everything. You're not really doing that, are you, the Conservatives?
We have, and one of the things that makes me smile, I'll put it no more strongly than that, is that Labour say that they're now the party of fiscal responsibility. But they're no more the party of fiscal responsibility than Kim Kardashian as a poster girl for modesty. For over the course of the last 5 years, every time that we've cut expenditure, they've opposed it. So this late and, to my mind, unconvincing conversion to fiscal responsibility isn't fooling anyone.
Kim Kardashian was quite an unconvincing mention, but fair enough. Just to finish off then, on the housing theme... I don't think anyone
thinks that KK is a model of modesty, certainly not looking at the pictures of her baptising her baby today.
Finishing on the housing theme, though, would you bet your own house on winning the election?
Yeah.
Michael Gove, thanks very much indeed.